every couple hours. Maybe you had a really big meal and you're hungry again quickly afterwards. That's because your cells are blocked. Your cells aren't opening properly, right? You're eating food, but your cells are staying closed. So you're eating, but your cells aren't absorbing it. So your cells are tired, or your cells are hungry, sorry. So your metabolic system is sending you hunger cravings, even though you ate. Now you're eating a lot, right? Binge eating at nighttime. Weight gain. If you're having a really easy time gaining weight and a difficult time losing weight. Insulin is the driving hormone behind your weight. I talked about all of this earlier. Come back to my next live if you want to hear the details behind this, but real quick, difficulty losing weight, easy to gain weight, belly fat, arthritis, inflammation, body aches and pains. I'm forgetting some. I always forget when I speed around. PCOS, erectile dysfunction. So these symptoms and these signs, they're there for a long time, and then eventually they begin to snowball, and it leads to chronic illness. So for example, cholesterol, blood pressure, PCOS, ED, pre-diabetes, diabetes type 2, Alzheimer's, dementia. There's a whole bunch that I just went through. I'm just forgetting them all now. Fatty liver disease, hypothyroidism. There's so many. High cholesterol, the high triglycerides, sorry. There's so many different ones that come through, all right? So if, for anybody who was confused, if you have a number of those things, then this next piece on the solutions is gonna be for you, okay? D, thank you. So hopefully the confusion is gone, but let's dive into the solution now. I'm gonna talk about 3, all right? So when it comes to these, the first one I'm gonna talk about is, actually, I guess, there's 2 causes of insulin resistance, right? There is what goes in the body and the frequency. We got to fix both. So when it comes to the frequency piece, which is whenever you eat your food, your glucose goes up, right? And it pushes your insulin up, and that frequency factor, right? That leads to insulin resistance, the frequency piece. And again, if you missed this stuff, come back to my next live. I'm not going to recap everything, but come back to my next live. We got to fix the frequency of food going into the body to control the insulin resistance. The best way to do that is intermittent fasting. It's also free. You can start doing it tomorrow, right? It's a really good tool. You don't need anything to start other than starting. So what I recommend with fasting is, insulin right now is super high. We need to fast in order to get the insulin and bring it back down, give it a chance to normalize, okay? That's the very first solution. Now, you don't need to do anything crazy. You don't have to do a 3-day fast. You don't got to do a 2-day fast or a 5-day fast. It's all about being sustainable, right? So a little bit of fasting every day can do a lot for your insulin resistance, okay? Now, I know before I dive into any more fasting, if you're someone, a lot of people come to me and they've done fasting for a long time. They've done fasting for years and they're not seeing results. It happens all the time. If you are someone who is thinking to themselves, Dana, I'm hearing you say fasting, but that's not working for me, don't worry. I got more solutions. I got 2 more I'm going to talk about, so don't stress too much. But it is common, but it doesn't work for everybody. It doesn't. But if you do want to try it, I highly recommend it. What you can do is, starting tomorrow, all you need to do is an 8-hour eating window and then a 16-hour fast. So what that means is you're going to wake up in the morning and you are going to skip breakfast. All right, you're going to skip breakfast. It's a really common schedule, is wake up in the morning, skip breakfast. And then you're going to break your fast later in the day, usually around noon. Noon is a really common place. You have your lunch, and that's your first meal of the day. You are then going to eat all of your food within an 8-hour eating window. Okay, within that 8-hour period, eat all your food. At the end of that 8-hour eating window, so 8 p.m., if you did it at noon, then it's 8 p.m. If you do 1 o'clock in the afternoon, then it's 9 p.m. So you can move the window around, but 8 hours. When you hit that 8-hour mark, after that, you're done. You're going to stop eating. No more snacks, no more food, all right? You can have water, have tea, have coffee. I have videos on what you can and can't have, so check out the video. I posted it like last week. Check out that video if you want to have a more detailed answer of what you can and can't have when you are fasting, okay? But that's really simple. Wake up tomorrow morning and you can fast. Now, if you're someone who's been fasting and it doesn't work for you, or when you fast, if you're experiencing headaches, migraines, shakiness, nausea even, being really tired. If you're struggling to do fasting, don't worry, I got more stuff for you guys, but that's one tool, okay? If you're diabetic, you can still do fasting. You can always start slow as well if you're nervous about it, but I work with thousands of people, and a lot of them are diabetic because insulin resistance often causes diabetes, and they fast. And it's a really good tool. And yep, you can have black coffee. Black coffee, no cream, no milk, no sugar. If you're having tea, no honey. Nothing goes in. You can have water. Okay, water basically. All right. So let's don't always take your medicine, whether you're fasting or not. Take your medicine properly. So prioritize your medicine. If your medicine needs to go with food, take your medicine with food. Change your eating window to align it with your medication. Always prioritize your meds and take your medication properly. Okay, so that's fasting. If you guys have questions on fasting, what I'll do is at the end, I'll answer those questions. I'm going to go through all the solutions and then we can go through all of your questions, all right? And like I said, if you guys want to talk about actual ingredients and what you can and can't have, I got a video that I did to help you with that. And it goes through everything that you're asking. It goes through it, okay? But yeah, save those questions for the end. So that's solution number one. If you don't want to fast, don't like fasting, are having symptoms and issues when you fast and skip a meal, or if you have been fasting, you're not seeing your results. The next thing we have to work on is food. Okay, what goes in the body also matters. Like I mentioned, a lot of it also isn't our fault, right? Our food today is not the same as how it used to be. We've lost between, 50 to 80% of the nutritional value of our food in North America. It's happening around the world, but in North America, the stat is between 50 to 80% of the nutritional value of our foods. And what that looks like for you when you're at home eating, when you're thinking, what does it mean for our foods to be deficient, 50 to 80% of the nutritional value? What that means is studies show you have to eat 8 oranges today to get the same as 1 orange used to give you. Other studies show you have to eat 21 oranges today to get the same as 1 orange used to give you. And that's happening with all of our food. And so it poses a problem where our body isn't getting what it needs. We're not getting the good stuff, the vitamins, minerals, the fiber. There's such a lack of fiber in our foods. 95% of people are deficient in fiber. We have a huge lack of what we need. Our body isn't getting what it needs now. That's a problem to function, right? To be healthy, to deal with insulin resistance. The fiber is critical for insulin resistance, for example. On the other side, we have a situation in which our food is very high in carbs, very high in sugar and cholesterol and all the bad stuff that is actually contributing to insulin resistance. The sugar, the carbs, the cholesterol especially, that's a problem. It's a problem for insulin resistance. So we have a situation in which we're getting too much of the bad stuff. We have to stop that. And we have not enough of the good stuff. And there's 2 solutions that I'm gonna recommend for this one. The first one, the first option, okay, which most people don't love when I say this one, but I'm gonna go ahead and say it, is if you wanna do it through your natural diet, you wanna do this yourself, you can. What you need to do is you need to cut out processed foods. Processed foods gotta go.